Wiki.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to everybody. Welcome to this great morning. Welcome to this great announcement. And welcome to Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment and Maple Leaf Square. MLSE has always depended on our BlackBerry. It is what we count on to communicate and what we count on to get through our busy days. BlackBerry, for us, is the backbone of our operation. It is what we manage all of our teams, all of our businesses, and all of our people with. Canadians love a great comeback story, and we're looking forward to a BlackBerry comeback. We have so much pride in our organization and in our teams, and we have great pride in being a great partner of BlackBerry. And we look forward to seeing what is with BlackBerry and the great innovations. From one Canadian home team to another, I'm very pleased to welcome all of you to this event and very, very pleased to congratulate BlackBerry on this wonderful achievement.
Every day, the world keeps moving faster. And everywhere you turn, there's one exciting innovation after another. Enriching lives, growing economies, connecting things, and taking us places we've never imagined. And as we race headlong into this ever more mobile, more complex, competitive, and intense world of business that spins 24/7, one thing is for certain. Those most driven to achieve and the technology that empowers them will never stand still. Which is why at BlackBerry, we've always been obsessed with serious mobility so you can succeed in serious business. Mobile innovation has been in our DNA since day one, allowing those with unstoppable energy, a steadfast commitment to performing at the highest level, and a desire to make real impact. Work smarter, collaborate better, and accomplish more. Pushing the world of business forward can only be realized when a trusted environment is in place. BlackBerry is the first name in enterprise mobile security and committed to building the world's most secure interconnected solutions. When lives can't be lost, when leaders need to be empowered, when serious business is on the line, BlackBerry is there. Protecting the most sensitive information, from personal identities to medical records to business contracts to government policy. We're the only mobility solution to receive full operational capability approval to run on the U.S. Department of Defense network. BlackBerry's installed base of customers dwarfs the next 3 mobility management competitors combined. And with over 30 years of experience, BlackBerry has over 44,000 patents. This is the world we live in, the world of those who get it done, who see a rapidly connecting global ecosystem with 50 billion intertwined machines creating exciting business models each and every day. They know there is no time to be complacent, no time to second guess, no time to be afraid, only time to achieve. Security that enables productivity is the only way to push business forward, which is why at BlackBerry, we'll always be securely connecting the corporations, countries, and individuals who shape the world. Serious mobility for serious business. BlackBerry.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. We kind of missed a little bit. Tim was supposed to say a few good words about me. He just got up and said about BlackBerry and he left. So, and then, seriously, I could show you the script. You didn't believe me. But anyway, okay. Thank you all for coming. And I was thinking a little bit last night. By the way, I just got in from Singapore. So I'm a little bit off in time zone, but I was here thinking about it a little bit last night, and I thought there were like 3 firsts for me. Now, first of all, the number 1 first is for me to be in our home country launching an iconic product. That's number 1 first. The second one is I seldom wear a tie to a sport bar, and I never show up this early to a sports bar. So anyway, so those are the 3 firsts. I really appreciate the fact that all of you are here this morning and help celebrate this great achievement of ours. I have 2 sets of colleagues doing it simultaneously right now in London and Dubai. You know, you guys only get breakfast, they got lunch, one group got dinner. So well, consider yourself lucky you got me. Okay, thank you. I have to come here, just like Tim has said, this is a big Canadian comeback. And Maple Leafs has been a long-term partners, like great customers, also charge us a lot of money for this place. I was told. I haven't seen a bill yet, but and we're really great partners. I'm really proud to be here, and the reason why we're here is to really try to get the Canadian people to rally behind us and to help us being supportive. So for those of you in the press, please report that, because I need that part badly. Okay, so I've been here about 10 months, and the team, and recruited a team, both from the outside the company and inside the company, and I felt that I'm extremely privileged to be able to work with this tremendous team. And we laid out quickly a few things. We laid out a financial strategy, we lay out a technology strategy, we lay out a business strategy, we lay out a distribution strategy. I'm not here to take you all through all that this morning, but I want to report for a few things. On the financial strategy, I don't know, we're doing an earnings release in 2 days, so I'm definitely in the quiet of the quietest part of the quiet period. So, but I could reiterate the fact that you will see the company making good progress in repairing all our balance sheet items and manage the cash extremely well. And the restructure of our company is now behind us. And I know there was a leak memo, and some people accused me of leaking the memo intentionally. That was a leak memo a while back. And we'll get you a copy if you haven't seen it. So we are done with that, and now we're very focused on growth. And we made some investment recently, especially two software investment on, one's called the SecuSmart, being famous for the encrypted voice and texting. I think that was that was also made famous by after the Snowden event, and the German Parliament and German Chancellor have been using it. We're very pleased to be able to partner with them. The other one is called Movertu, a company in the UK that provided soft SIMs. So it's one SIM card, two numbers, basically, and all the nice things that surrounding that. And we think there are a lot of customers we really want. And then hopefully, long gone are the days in the future that you will have our passport or the other one that's coming out, which, yes, I'm going to show you. You guys, if you want to take a picture, you had to be like 1 second. I'm going to show you 1 second of that particular device that's about to come out also, and hopefully that you see a lot of people carrying two phones nowadays. One is BlackBerry, and the other one I don't know how to pronounce. I can say it obviously here, but I did see a video this morning that it was banded. Did you guys see that? How many people saw what I was talking about? There was a phone that was banded, but the only problem is, unlike the other company phone that banded will band back, that thing stayed banded. I understand. I will challenge you guys to band our passport, which you're about to see. Anyway, so we have a very good financial strategy. I think we're executing well on our way. And here this morning, we're really talking about technology strategy and the delivery of that, and the portfolio of that. This year, interestingly enough, we actually will be launching 4 phones. We already had 2 out there, the Z3, which is currently in 13 different countries. We launched that product on May 12 in Jakarta, and it's been doing quite well. And then the second phone was launched on September 17 in Dubai. which was a Porsche design phone. That one's doing very well, and it's very expensive, I was told. I think list price like $2,300 US or something of that. But I could tell you a lot of people love it. So a lot of rich people love it, I suppose. And then, of course, today we're announcing and launching our Passport, which one that we're really proud of, which you're going to get into it a lot today. Then there is going to be one called the Classic, sometime between now and the end of the year. It will come out. So that's kind of the sequel to this phone. So we'll be launching 4 phones, and we have a strategy that's surrounded enterprise, productivity, security, collaboration, and communication. Everything we do now in the company, whether it was the QNX that does embedded, whether they connected to the IoT of the world, whether it is the software strategy and the BlackBerry enterprise servers, the MDM and all the value-added services of which the encrypted voice, as well as the dual SIM or single SIM dual numbers approach are part of that strategy, and of course these 4 phones. In fact, probably nothing more important than our current phone in a Passport that kind of encompass all 4 of those attributes that I talk about. This is squarely aimed at the 30% of the mobile user space out there that likes a very productive keyboards, long battery life, et cetera, of a very different format that, this is the first in the industry. So I'm obviously very pleased with that. And I'd like to now show you a video. Because I think they asked me to talk about the concept and everything behind it. I have to tell you that I just fell in love with the phone when I came in. I did not create a phone, nor did I create a concept. It was done before my time. If there's a credit I could claim, is I didn't kill it. So, without further ado, I'd like to show you from the designer's point of view how this phone came about. Could you guys cue that?
Our goal with the BlackBerry Passport was to create a serious mobility tool, one that would change and improve the way professionals use their mobile device.
This was about creating something better, something unique, something with purpose.
When we asked ourselves questions and we didn't have a solution, that's where the innovation came in. And it's layered throughout the product.
Because we based the phone on the format of a Passport, there's a sense of familiarity when you hold it in your hand, yet something is still very new.
I think what amazes people when they use the device for the first time is the size of the screen, the amount of content they can experience.
When you turn the device on and you see the big square display, there is a delight when the screen comes alive. And then there's an exploration or a journey to some of the other features, such as the capacitive keyboard, for example.
BlackBerry has been known for best-in-class keyboards. We took it very seriously when looking at how to improve on that.
So the physical keyboard also has an on-screen presence, something that's adaptive, that changes with content.
To allow the frame to function as part of the RF antenna, we created a split in the bottom where we located the connector port. The steel I-beams used in modernist architecture really inspired the integration of the frame into the body of the device.
And with the BlackBerry Passport, it really creates this unique shape.
The gentle shape of the back cover feels great in your hand, but also allows us to incorporate a much larger battery.
There is something about leaving the laptop at home and really having that one device that'll get you through the day.
We designed it for somebody who's looking for a durable product, a reliable product, and a beautiful product. It's for the person who wants to get more done.
Actually, Allison's here. One of our designers is actually here, which is one of the stars in the video. Allison, where are you? Oh, you're way up there? Hi, right there. Okay, this is the time I'm supposed to show you the passport. So so not this passport. I have a reason for that. I'll explain that. So here go, the passport. Oops. Now, the reason why I wanted to get this out first, I'm not a very good actor, as you can see, is that a lot of people, when they first see this device, I mean, this device is packed with power, and my colleagues, Jeff, we're going to take you through that. And we're very, very proud of the technology that represents a lot of groundbreaking stuff in here for the industry. But a lot of times when I show this in the last number of months around the world, usually people look at it and say, well, kind of a little big, a little different than I expected. And then so I immediately pull out the passport, and guess what? Same size. Then once you show that, then people get a relief, sigh of relief. Oh, okay, well, let me see this. And then they will really love it. And so this is why I'm doing this, just to show you that we did that. Part of the inspiration is to make sure that we listen to our customer, give the best productive device with the one-to-one aspect ratio. As I said, my colleague Jeff is going to take everybody through it. But more importantly, it's a size that could fit in the gentleman's pocket or the lady's purse. I'm assuming purse that are very small and very expensive. I've seen some of those. But they will fit in that, in those. So now to help us celebrate today's event, we asked the guests who have been using the passport for a little while to come to give you some testimonial, because I mean, obviously I say this is great because I'm paid to say this is great. So it is great, by the way. But there's a good friend of ours, a good customer, obviously a very accomplished person. I understand he's a great businessman, a great entrepreneur, philanthropist. I know he loves hockey. I know he skates reasonably well, and is a national hero. So come to tell you about this passport, Mr. Wayne Gretzky.
Thanks, John.
So here's a Canadian national hero and actually an international hero. So I'm going to let it all for Wayne to take the podium. Please, Wayne, go ahead.
Thank you, John. Good morning to everyone. And I was here a couple weeks ago for the film festival, and BlackBerry said they were launching the new passport, and they asked me if I'd like to come back and be part of this, and I said absolutely. In our lifetime, it's great that one of the great Canadian companies that we have right here in our backyard is BlackBerry. And I travel a lot, I go to a lot of places, and for me, to have the BlackBerry hub is something so unique and something so simple. You just go to one spot in the telephone, and you get your emails, your texts, your phone calls, and I can stay on top of things. So I've been, from day one, a BlackBerry user, somebody that really, really believes in the product. When you have two people like Prem and John here, as my dad always said, go to where the puck is, not where, go to where the puck's going to be, not where it was. And so BlackBerry has that figured out. They do a nice job. And the great thing about the passport is the battery life. It goes for so long. You don't have to worry about plugging it in every time you turn around. So I'm just so pleased and proud to be a Canadian and be part of the BlackBerry team. Thank you. Thanks, John.
Thank you, Wayne.
You guys have a great day.
Because I hope you know that I'm pulling out all the stops to be Canadian. And you can see that, right? I'm here. I have the national hero here. So if you guys don't support us, then you got some problems. Anyway, thank you. We're determined to win our home country back. So this is one of the first moves to do that. So I'd now like to call on my colleagues, Jeff Gataway, to show you all the great stuff. He's not as funny, but he's more informative. Thank you. I'll come right back.
Thanks, John. He really is telling the truth. He is pulling out all the stops. He even went so far as to steal my Canadian passport to show it on stage here this morning. So I got to make sure I got that back from him before we get going here. Now, you've heard from John about how we're listening to our customers and how we're laser focused on meeting the needs of mobile professionals. And in the video you saw with Allison and Joseph and the rest of the design team, you heard about how they were inspired by the passport, a symbol of mobility, to create a new kind of device that would allow mobile professionals to work in a new way from their mobile devices. I'm really excited to be here this morning to share the Passport with all of you and tell you a little bit more about its story. Now, while everything about the Passport is new, from the inside to the outside, from the hardware to the software that powers it, today I want to focus on just 5 things that we know that mobile pros will love. A large square touch display for better viewing and reading. A touch-enabled keyboard for more accurate and more precise control. Our 10.3 software update, our largest and most comprehensive software update to date. A new personal assistant. It's a completely new kind of virtual assistant, actually, because it's built for work. And an incredible new audio experience. Let's start with the screen. Now, over the last few weeks, we've seen screens get a little bit bigger, a little bit brighter, and a little bit sharper. But no display has tried to fundamentally improve the way that people experience content, like reading and writing email, editing documents, navigating their phone, or browsing the web. Today, professionals are doing their best to work on narrow smartphones and often leave many of these types of tasks for their PCs or desktop computers. But Passport is all about working wide. It's a new way of working on a smartphone, and that's in large part thanks to the large square touch display. The BlackBerry Passport screen is 1440 by 1440 pixels. It's incredibly sharp. It's just beautiful. It packs in 453 dots per inch, and it's made with Gorilla Glass for added strength. So it's really strong. The large square screen provides a near optimal text line length for consuming written content. Now let me tell you more about this. To provide the most comfortable viewing experience for readers, the print industry standard is to target about 66 characters per line. This is also what you find most e-readers targeting. Now, if you look at the narrow competition, the iPhone 6 displays just 33 characters per line, while the Galaxy S5, it only displays about 29 characters per line. The Passport, on the other hand, is much closer to this print standard. It shows 60 characters per line. What this means is that it gives the viewer a much improved viewing experience for consuming content, particularly written content, compared to the narrow competition. It really comes to life when doing things like editing a document or working with a spreadsheet on your mobile device. So let's go take a look exactly what those things look like on Passport. So here I am in the BlackBerry Hub on my Passport. I'm going to pull up an email from one of my colleagues with a memo attached to it. She's asked me to take a look, and maybe I'm on the road. Maybe I'm not at the office. Again, today, a lot of mobile pros would wait till they get back to their desk to take this action. But with the Passport, I can just open it up right here in Word to Go, a built-in piece of software. Right away, you see how the content fills the screen from left to right. I can easily view the content, and I can navigate through the entire document in just a couple of swipes. It's incredibly simple and really beautiful. Now, if I want to edit this document, I can just touch on the screen to bring up the cursor. And when I do, you see I can start editing right away. The entire screen real estate is preserved for interacting with this content. Nothing is blocked out by an on-screen keyboard. That's one of the benefits of having both a large touch display plus the keyboard. Now let's look at the same memo on a narrow device, like the iPhone 6. I'm going to open it up here in Pages, because I'm probably going to need to make some edits. Look at the difference. The first thing you'll notice is that I can't read the content, right? I haven't touched either of these phones in terms of zoom. If I want to be able to read this document, I have to zoom in quite considerably. I'm going to try to bring the characters to about the same size. Now watch what happens. I lose a good chunk of the content off the right-hand side of the screen. And in order to read this memo, I need to pan back and forth across the page as I go through the document. But where this problem really comes to light is when I want to make an edit, because I touch on the screen and it brings up the virtual keyboard. Now about a third of my screen is obscured by the virtual keyboard, so my ability to really interact with this content is compromised. Now I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, oh, well, he could just turn it into landscape mode and you'll get much better left-right viewing. Let's take a look. So it's true, when I do turn it into landscape, I'm able to see more content from left to right. Now, it still isn't fitting all on the page, but it's a little bit better. The challenge here, though, is that I'd say, about 2/3 of my screen is now obscured by the keyboard, so I'm only able to see a small sliver of my content. It's no surprise that when we talk to mobile professionals, they're frustrated editing documents on their smartphones today. The next thing we'll take a look at is working with a spreadsheet. So I'll go back to my passport here, minimize Word to Go, and go back into the hub. I'm going to find an email here from my financial advisor and open it in Sheets to Go, another preloaded productivity app that you find on Passport. Look at how right away I can see the entire workbook at a glance. I can see my total net worth, my assets. I can see my liabilities as well. And if I flip over to the Assets tab, you can see that I'm able to view both the chart and the data that drives it. So I'm getting a really great content consumption experience. If I want to make an edit, let's say my cash on hand is really good this week, I can just delete this figure. It was really good this week. And the chart edits in real time as well. So you can see how it's much easier to work with something like a spreadsheet here when you're working wide. Let's look at the same experience on a narrow device like the Galaxy S5. So I'm going to go into my email, and I'm going to find the same message from Donnie. I'm going to open up the spreadsheet, and right away you see I get 2/3 of the content that I did on the Passport when I'm looking at the dashboard. If I flip over to the Assets tab, I can see the chart and a little bit of the data, but not both, right? Again, I'd be panning back and forth across the page or having to zoom in and out in order to interact with that content. That's the large touch-enabled screen on the BlackBerry Passport. It's big, it's beautiful, and it's designed for a better viewing and consumption experience. Next, let's talk about the keyboard. BlackBerry is regarded, and even imitated, for its physical QWERTY keyboard. Mobile professionals love the BlackBerry keyboard for its speed, accuracy, and the way that it allows them to communicate with confidence. Now with Passport, we wanted to reinvent the BlackBerry keyboard by building on our strengths and heritage while doing something incredibly new, exciting, and innovative at the same time. That's why we've invented a new typing experience that blends the physical accuracy of QWERTY together with the flexibility and fluidity of touch. We call it the touch-enabled keyboard. This touch-enabled keyboard will allow mobile professionals to experience greater control, precision, and efficiency when they're navigating and typing on their smartphones. No other keyboard even comes close. In fact, no other device manufacturer could build a keyboard like we have. In fact, we tested the BlackBerry keyboard and found that users were 4 times more accurate with 74% fewer typos. This is incredible. You're going to love this keyboard when you get your hands on it. The touch-enabled keyboard lets you perform many functions right on the keyboard, just like a trackpad. It's responsive to touch, so you can navigate through lists, flick to type, or slide your finger along the keyboard to move the cursor. let's take a quick look at a few of the ways we can use the touch-enabled keyboard. So here I am in the hub, right? And what you'll see is that I've got a pretty long list here, right? And today, with an all-touch device, I'd be blocking out the content on the screen or maybe touching things by accident, right? Activating emails or messages that I don't mean to touch. But with the touch-enabled keyboard, I'm able to just move through this list quite quickly by swiping on the keypad. A big swipe moves the list quite quickly, but the keyboard's also sensitive enough to detect smaller motions for finer actions as well. Now from navigation, let's turn to typing. I'm going to bring up an email here and show you how the touch-enabled keyboard allows me to type really fast and accurately. As I start to type on the keypad here, I get suggestions that appear above the physical keyboard in a fourth row. Think of it as a fourth row of virtual keys. Now, I don't have to take my thumbs off the keyboard and out of typing position in order to select these suggestions. All I need to do is swipe up on the keypad beneath the word I want. So I can compose an entire thought just by swiping up on the keypad. So I'm going to say, looking forward to seeing everyone again for dinner. If I want to access symbols and numbers, I just swipe down. And you'll see that each of the things on the touch screen are mapped to physical keys beneath the touch screen. So I can say 9 p.m. ? But what if I made a mistake? Swiping back across the keyboard from right to left allows me to delete one word at a time. So it's really easy. But a big frustration that we heard in talking to mobile professionals was around using the touchscreen for fine cursor control and text. It's too hard to select a word or a block of text using those little paddles that you have on other touch devices today. So the touch-enabled keyboard was designed to help with greater precision when using fine cursor control and selecting text. I double tap on the screen to bring up the cursor, and I can use the keyboard to drop it exactly where I want it. If I want to select a block of text, I hold Shift and once again use the keyboard to select. It's super easy, and it's going to change the way you interact with content on your phone. That's the touch-enabled keyboard on the BlackBerry Passport. It offers an incredible step forward in how we interact with our smartphones, offering faster, more precise navigation and typing. Now from hardware, I want to turn to software. Since launching the BlackBerry 10 operating system just a year and a half ago, we've released a number of updates and added hundreds of improvements and new features. But today, we're excited to share the next major milestone of the BlackBerry 10 operating system, 10.3. This major software update brings together a refreshed visual design along with hundreds of new features across virtually every aspect of the OS, many of which are designed to boost productivity. Now, I could spend hours talking about how 10.3 introduces new physical controls and new features to many of your favorite apps, and how the new UI is really optimized to squeeze every ounce of productivity out of every gesture and action that you take. But today, I want to focus on just a few of my favorite features that illustrate our commitment to building a productivity-focused OS. Let's start with something we call BlackBerry Assistant. BlackBerry Assistant is a new kind of virtual assistant, one that's built for work. It allows mobile professionals to interact with work content and use the productivity apps that they rely on each and every day. As we looked at other virtual assistants on the market, we saw two main problems that kept them from meeting the needs of our productivity-focused audience. First, assistants like Siri and Google aren't able to interact with all kinds of data, of work data, that is. Now, as you heard from John, we're really focused on enterprise and productivity-focused users, and we know that many of the users who will buy Passport will be coming from Android devices and iPhones. And as they bring those devices into the organization, chances are IT is going to use some kind of a secure container to help protect the corporate data that sits at rest on that device. Now, herein lies the challenge with Siri and Google Now. They aren't able to access work data sitting in a secure container. What does this mean? It means that if I want to take even the most basic action, like text John Chen or email Wayne Gretzky, Siri won't be able to find those contacts and won't be able to take that action. And that's because the data that's sitting in that work container is essentially invisible. But with BlackBerry Assistant, you're able to interact with both work and personal data. In fact, BlackBerry Assistant is so deeply integrated with productivity apps like Hub, Calendar, and Contacts, you're able to complete more sophisticated tasks that you just can't do on Siri and Google Now. Come on up to the Assistant booth upstairs and we'll show you. Second, mobile pros aren't always in a position where they can speak to a virtual assistant. Maybe they're in a meeting, or they're on a noisy train, or in a busy restaurant, or perhaps they just want to be more discreet. BlackBerry Assistant has been built to be more versatile. There are 3 ways to interact with it, making it more ideal in more situations. You can speak to it, and it'll respond in kind. But you can also type in commands, to which BlackBerry Assistant will respond with only information on screen. And when you're in the car behind the wheel, BlackBerry Assistant knows that you're connected to Bluetooth and that you can't look at your device. And so it will interact with you completely hands and eyes free. Now, not only does BlackBerry Assistant serve as a way to interact with your work content and data, but it also provides you with a universal search across your entire smartphone. So by simply inputting a name, for example, either by voice or by using the keyboard, you can get back a variety of results connected to that name. All the emails from that person, all the messages that person's mentioned in, BBMs from that person, contacts related to that person, even calendar events that you have with that person, even if they haven't set them up. It's a really comprehensive search, and it's going to make it really easy to find the things you're looking for. So let's put BlackBerry Assistant to work and show you what it can do. So I'm going to pull up BlackBerry Assistant here from the home screen by touching on the Assistant icon. The first thing you'll see is that I have a couple of different options. I'm able to touch on the microphone and speak to give it a command, or I can choose from one of the instant actions that correspond to a recent action that I've taken in the BlackBerry Assistant app. So the first thing I want to show you is how BlackBerry Assistant is deeply plugged in to your work content. And I'm going to do that by asking it, what does my day look like tomorrow? Let's see what happens. What does my day look like tomorrow? Immediately, Assistant
You have
responds.
16 events tomorrow.
So you saw immediately Assistant responds, and it gives me a visual cue with a little green calendar, recognizing that it's understood my query as a calendar-related event. And it's pulled up my calendar. Notice here how I have both items in purple and in green. The things that you see in purple are on my personal calendar, my Gmail calendar, right? The things in green, these are sitting on my work calendar behind the corporate firewall. So these are at my @blackberry.com email address. So I'm able to get a fully rounded view of my day with Assistant. Now, let's do another comparison. I'm going to go over here and pull up my calendar for tomorrow on my iPhone. And this is the calendar in my secure workspace, right? An example of a container app. And this could be, we're going to demo this here on Secure Workspace because it's the best, but this could be any container app, right? And what I want to show you is that even though I have all the same calendar appointments as I do on my BlackBerry, there's a problem with Siri. What does my day look like tomorrow?
Okay, I found 6 events for tomorrow.
6 events versus 16 events, right? A great illustration of the fact that Siri can't see my work data sitting inside a secure container, right? It really impedes the ability for professionals to make use of a virtual assistant like this. But what about those times when I can't speak to my assistant? Maybe I'm in a meeting, or I'm in a restaurant, or I just need to do something quickly and don't have the luxury of speaking to it. Well, with BlackBerry Assistant, I'm able to type into it as well. So, when I meet with John, he expects that I take action right away, right? And when he says book a follow-up meeting with me, I need to have that on his calendar in like the next 2 minutes. So with BlackBerry Assistant, I can just pick it up and start typing. Book a catch-up with John tomorrow at noon at John's office. So watch how Assistant recognizes this as a calendar-related event. And by hitting OK, it's going to populate the calendar invite with everything that I need. The subject, the location, even the contacts sitting in my work contacts list behind my corporate firewall. It's put it in my calendar, and when I hit save, it's going to send John this meeting invite using my corporate email, putting it on both of our corporate calendars. Don't worry, John, it's not going to go to you. So notice how BlackBerry Assistant didn't talk to me this time? It understood that by interacting with it with text, I didn't want it to talk back to me. It was a more discrete interaction. Now, while BlackBerry Assistant is optimized for work, it can do a lot of other things too. Let me show you one of my favorites. What I can do is actually start a search for the web and have it go out to some of my favorite websites, like Amazon and SoundCloud. So I'm going to ask it to find a Wayne Gretzky autograph for me. Search Amazon for Wayne Gretzky autographs.
Searching Amazon for Wayne Gretzky autograph.
Now watch what happens. It's going to open up my browser and go right into Amazon, pulling up the top results for Wayne Gretzky autographs, taking me right to the information I need. Other virtual assistants would do just a generic web search for the great one. Now, there's a lot more that BlackBerry Assistant can do. All you have to do is ask it. But these are just a few of the ways that Assistant can help a busy professional stay organized and in control. Now, another feature of 10.3 is something that we call Instant Actions in BlackBerry Hub. Now, if you recall, the BlackBerry Hub brings together all of your communications in one spot. Your work and personal email, your social networks, your BBM messages, text messages, and everything else. The value the Hub provides to a mobile professional is that they don't have to spend time checking each of these apps individually in order to have a full picture of their communications and quickly take action. Now, in 10.3, we're adding instant actions to the BlackBerry Hub to make it easier to quickly triage your messages directly from the list view. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to go back into the Hub here, and right away, you see that I have a lot of stuff going on. I've got BBMs, I've got unread messages, I can scroll through the Hub using my touch-enabled keyboard. But what about those times when maybe I get off a plane, right? And I've got a surge of emails, and I need to just quickly triage my mailbox and find those things that are most important. What I'm able to do is touch up in the right-hand corner, see where that check mark is next to the 3 lines, and enable instant actions. What you see appear are the most common actions for each mode of communication. And this allows me to really quickly take action on all of this content. So for example, I can quickly delete this message from Donnie. I can delete this message from Lizette. Don't need coffee with Sean. I can take this message from Sarah and touch here on the envelope to mark it as unread so I can come back to it later. I'm able to go down, I can find a calendar invite and accept this right from the Hub list view so that I don't actually have to even go into the calendar, right? So I'm right in the list view. I can even respond to BBM messages here in the Hub without having to do anything else. So I can say, sounds good, and off it goes. So that's instant actions in the Hub, one of the many productivity-focused features that we've built into 10.3 to help mobile professionals be more successful, stay on top of things, and take action. Next, let's talk about the phone call experience. The number one feature that mobile pros still use their smartphone for is phone calls. And yet, with all the advancements that we've seen in smartphone technology, there have really been few improvements made to address the audio quality issues that professionals identify as pain points, until now. BlackBerry Passport will deliver an amazing audio experience thanks to a number of new innovations in audio technology. To start with, we've built the BlackBerry Passport with an incredible speakerphone. Not only is it louder than the speakerphones you'll find on other devices, but it's clearer and sharper too. The BlackBerry Passport offers the loudest speakerphone compared to both the HTC One and the Samsung Galaxy S5. In fact, BlackBerry Passport's speaker is 18% louder than the HTC One and an incredible 350% louder than the Galaxy S5. But volume doesn't come at the expense of clarity. Not only is the BlackBerry Passport speakerphone louder than the competition, it also offers superior frequency response. What this means is that you get more output across the entire spectrum of sound. More lows, more mids, more crisp highs. So more than ever before, your conference calls will sound like you're in the same room with the other person. With a louder, clearer speakerphone, we believe BlackBerry Passport is a great alternative to your desk phone or your Polycom. But we didn't stop there. When you're holding the Passport up to your ear, it will adapt the volume of your calls based on the environmental conditions that you're in. What this means is that if Passport can sense that I'm in a loud environment, it will actually boost the volume of my call to provide me with a clearer call. It also listens to the loudness of the other person that I'm talking to. So if I'm talking to Tim, and Tim is a little bit of a quiet talker, not that you were Tim, it will boost the volume of Tim's voice so that I can get a louder, clearer call with Tim. If we stopped there, we'd be delivering the best call quality experience, but we didn't. We've also introduced a new capability that will give you a consistently louder call even if you're not holding the phone flush against your face. Passport uses a carefully placed microphone right inside the earpiece to sense the position of the phone against your face and the seal against your ear, and then it dynamically adjusts both the call volume and tone of the call to give you the right sound levels. This effect can be measured by looking at the size of the sound sweet spot against the ear. What we've seen through our acoustics testing is that this technology, this natural sound technology, increases the size of the sound sweet spot by up to 70%. So at last, mobile professionals will get a great call experience on the go thanks to natural sound technology and the BlackBerry Passport. Now, one final thing on 10.3. We've really made it easy for mobile pros to hit the ground running with Passport by allowing them to bring their contacts, their music, their photos, and other important data from their old device, be it an iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry 10 smartphone, over to their new Passport. We've done this with the help of the Device Switch app. You'll find it in BlackBerry World and in the other application storefronts. With the Device Switch app on your old phone, you can just wirelessly move all the data and content over to your new phone. It's as simple as that. You don't have to worry about any cables, plugging in, syncing. Just download the app on both phones, connect to Wi-Fi, and off you go. Now, before we move on and talk about apps, let's just talk a few minutes about specs, right? Because I know you're all wondering. We'll start with battery life, because we know that battery life is one of the top purchase drivers for mobile professionals today. They need and expect a tool that will power their whole day. They can't spend time searching for a quick charge at a coffee shop or chained to an outlet at an airport. That's why we've developed the BlackBerry Passport with the largest battery among the top-selling smartphones and phablets today. At 3,450 milliamp hours, the BlackBerry Passport provides an incredible 30 hours of battery life. Now we test our battery life using something we call an active user profile. So it's somebody who's a power communicator, using lots of email, multimedia, phone calls. They do lots of browsing and more. So we look at a mixed profile. And on top of building an incredibly large battery into this phone, we're also introducing some new features to help professionals get the most power out of this large battery. For example, by turning the Passport onto its face on a flat surface, you put it into standby mode, turning off the display and saving power. This helps to extend the battery life when the device isn't in use. And when you pick it up and look at it, the screen is illuminated once again, and you're back to where you left off. Now, everything we've talked about so far, the large square touch display, the touch-enabled keyboard, BlackBerry Assistant, amazing call quality, and a huge battery, is all backed up with the right specs to deliver an incredible end-user experience. To start, we've added an entirely new camera module to the BlackBerry Passport, complete with a 13-megapixel OIS, or optical image stabilization sensor. This camera captures absolutely stunning images and video. Just take a look at a few of the shots that we took here in Toronto and at some of the other launch locations around the world this week as we were prepping for our launch. Here's a picture we took in Toronto, just down the street from here. It's just beautiful, right? This was actually one of the buildings that helped inspire the design that you heard from Allison and her team. So just look at the detail, look at the clarity. Here we are in London, right? This is just outside our London event. Let's move to Dubai. In Dubai, this was taken at dusk, so generally a challenging lighting condition for a camera, but we've taken just a beautiful picture. And here's my favorite, Toronto at night. We took this with the BlackBerry Passport. Have you ever seen an image like this come off a BlackBerry smartphone before? This is pretty cool. Now, you can see this camera really shines in low-light environments, and the optical image stabilization ensures that your photos and videos are super crisp. So we've already talked about the display. Full HD, 1440 by 1440, 453 pixels per inch. It's absolutely beautiful. It's stunning. You're going to love it. But let's talk about what powers the Passport. We've got a 2.2 gigahertz quad-core processor in here, which means Passport is incredibly responsive and fast. It's the first time we've put a quad-core processor in a BlackBerry. It comes loaded with 4 gigs of RAM, with 32 gigs of onboard storage. You can, of course, extend this with microSD. When you put all these great features together, you've got a one-of-a-kind new device built to give mobile professionals a new way to work that'll help them to be more productive, communicate better, and get more done. We call this working wide, and we've prepared just a short video to help bring this concept to life for you. Let's take a look.
To make a big decision, we must not only listen to others, but also be heard. We must not only ask the right questions, but know how to answer them quickly, too. To make a big decision, you need to understand every point of view, while never doubting your own. You not only need long-term projects, but the ability to act in a second. You not only need to see the big picture, but understand it at a glance. We must not only be confident in ourselves, but look out for others. To make a big decision, we must leave behind a narrow vision and work wide. Introducing the new BlackBerry Passport.
Please welcome Senior Director, Global Alliances and Business Development, Peter Ng.
Good morning. I'm thrilled to be here today. We've been working hard on apps. Now on BlackBerry Passport, there are more ways to access your favorite apps for work and play. Specifically on the BlackBerry Passport, you can access great apps on BlackBerry World for business and productivity, and right beside it, our consumer store, Amazon's App Store, to get the latest Android apps and games. On BlackBerry World, access native apps like Evernote, Box, WebEx, in addition to other key productivity solutions that provide mobile professionals with the right tools for the job. On BlackBerry World, apps are tested against malware and privacy. You can have apps in the BlackBerry personal and work perimeters. Now, BlackBerry is focusing on delivering the most secure end-to-end mobile enterprise solutions. With that, we are aggressively focusing on apps that matter, enterprise apps that matter to our customers. Apps they need in their industries to run their businesses to be more productive. At this time, I'd like to invite 3 of our enterprise app partners to join me on stage so that you can hear how together we are doing this. Please join me in welcoming Global Head and GM of Mobile and Connected Devices from Bloomberg, OK Okero. Morning, welcome.
Pleasure.
And CEO from Pronto Forums, Alvaro Pombo. Good morning, welcome, Alvaro.
Thank you.
And Vice President, Sales and Marketing from Claron Technology, Ruben Soraya.
Thank you.
Ruben, good morning. Thank you for joining us. So BlackBerry customers require access to secure market data and critical alerts in real time. Therefore, let me start this morning with Bloomberg and OK Okero and talk about how BlackBerry and Passport 10.3, how they're addressing enterprise customers' needs and making them much more productive. So, OK, what can you share about what Bloomberg is doing?
Good morning, everyone. At Bloomberg, our number one priority in terms of mobile is to be on the platforms that are important to our users with an experience that's optimal. And with that, today I'm happy to announce that we're creating a native app for our Bloomberg Professional subscribers that's specifically designed for BlackBerry 10. We call it the Bloomberg Professional app for BlackBerry Enterprise, and it not only delivers an optimal experience on the Passport device, but across all BlackBerry 10 devices. Of course, that includes the touch-only devices as well as the devices that have touch and a keyboard.
So not only on Passport, but across all BlackBerry 10 devices then?
Indeed.
Fantastic. So what can you show us?
So I have a little demo, but first let me, oops.
Let me re-clip you back there.
Yeah, first of all, let me put in my password here, and then we'll be in business. Okay, we can project. So in putting this experience together, we took a fair amount of time to figure out what would be optimal for our users. So there's several things that we've taken into consideration, which I'll show you really quickly. The first thing is, our users are very busy, they're always on the go, and they do several things on their device. So first thing worth, I guess, pointing out here is if I minimize the screen, you'll see we take advantage of the active tile so that we can
see all the market data in real time, even when it's minimized there then.
Exactly, but in this particular case, I think someone's looking for me. But yeah, so we have an active tile that gives folks updates throughout the course of the day when they're not actually in the app itself. But in addition to that, one of the things that we've put together, because getting around really quickly and getting into content that's most important to people is so important, we've created a new navigation system in this experience. It's a dual navigation system where we have a carousel, where we have the primary applications that are part of the experience here, as well as a sub-navigation where you can navigate through different categories. So as you can see here, I'm in the news application, and you can see the different categories of news right here. Same thing if I, for instance, go into securities, you can see the most recent securities I viewed, so on and so forth with markets, for instance. So let's have a look at the world equity indices right now and see what's going on in the markets. So as you can see here, and as was also indicated when the device was shown earlier, there's a tremendous amount of information that's in view at one time. But we also thought, how could we take advantage of this screen and deliver an experience that's even better for our users? Because information density is very important for people in the industry that we serve. So one of the things that we did, you can see this little button down here that says table size. If I tap this, you can cram more onto the screen, and if I tap it again, even more. This is especially important for our audience of users who are always trying to consume a fair amount of information at one time very easily. And I also should point out that this isn't something that we have done on a mobile device before, so this is the first time that we're doing here. So we're quite excited to bring this to our users.
So the information density approach here, first time on mobile then?
Correct. Empowering our users to control the amount of density that they have on the screen at any given time. This isn't something we've done on a mobile platform before.
Very impressive. Now I've got a few questions. Perhaps your app can actually answer those. What are the top... we
Sure.
good?
No,
right,
go ahead.
What are the top Canadian banks by revenue?
Okay. He's trying to stump me. Okay, top Canadian banks by revenue. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm going to tap on this. Here, oh, by the way, I should also just mention that in the experience, regardless of where you are, regardless of what screen you're on, once you start to type on the keyboard, we launch you into a search experience. This is particularly important for, again, our users who are constantly hunting for different things. So regardless of where you are, you're able to do that. And that's how I was able to execute this search. It's also worth mentioning that we at Bloomberg are working on a natural language search capability, which is what's powering this particular screen that we have up at the moment. So it was the Royal Bank of Canada.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, let's step it up a little bit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Recently, Burger King had announced they were acquiring Tim Hortons. So what are Tim Hortons' earnings as compared to Burger King?
Good question. So I'll just start to type. So I'll tap this, and boom. So we have that information displayed here. Not only do we present this information in a very easy to digest format, but for context, because you asked that question right now, but you might be curious over time, how has that trended? So we have a chart here showing how both of those companies' earnings have actually trended over time. You know, as I mentioned, this is a capability that we are in the process of building out right now, and you know, we will be pioneering this on mobile and on this particular device platform when the experience comes to market.
Excellent, very impressive, and thank you, OK, for sharing with us what Bloomberg is doing today. Look, before I let you get back, when is this app going to be available?
At the end of October.
End of October. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Now let's move on to Alvaro Pombo from Pronto Forms. As a passport has been designed for serious mobility for serious business, the Pronto Forms app is actually a great example of how organizations can be more cost-effective and collaborative through the passport's design, utilizing such features as the touch-enabled keyboard and enabling mobile professionals to be highly productive. Why is the app important to our customers?
So Peter, thanks first of all for the opportunity of being here. BlackBerry has a huge install base, a powerful brand trust, and customers that want to do more with you guys. And now you have the new passport, which has a great form factor and capabilities that we've heard a few minutes ago that are perfect for our type of customers. So let me tell you about Pronto Forms. We mobilize business processes to improve operational excellence. To give you an example, what we do is what the FedEx systems did for the logistics industry. But we do it to any industry with a few mouse clicks and a few dollars, which is very important. The result of that approach and that vision is 3,000 companies right now using our product, 6 of the Fortune 50, more than 40 different verticals. And we do this by selling direct, but primarily through very large operators like AT&T.
Alvaro, how do customers use your product? And you know what, better yet, show us.
Oh, totally. A Latin without moving around, you won't have it. So let me just try here. I have a little thing here that I'm going to use for this demo. So let me show you what it is. So I'm Dave Jones, not Alvaro Pombo anymore. I'm a health and safety inspector in northern Alberta, working for a major oil and gas company. Safety compliance for every company is a very challenging but very important thing to do. Now, let me show you what Dave will do. So Dave is going to do an inspection in the field, okay? So first of all, he's going to pick which of the different franchises. Let's take this one. I mean, whatever, doesn't matter. You can acquire location. You can do a safety inspection. Immediately, information is loaded, so the user knows what he's doing, where he's doing this thing. And then he's going to do 3 very simple questions. Emergency signage, let's say everything is in place, so I pass. Then a first aid kit is available. The reason for the little thing here. He failed, I mean, cannot run an operation with this thing, okay? And the last part is, let's say he passed it. So I'm going to, I mean, he got 67% of the story. And I'm going to take a picture to document that this is not the proper kit to have in an operation like this. The user can enter comments. It can do anything they want. I'm going to pick that I did this. Not Henry, Dave Jones. Okay, and I'm going to capture a signature. And there we go. I finished my inspection, and the process continues.
Excellent. So what is actually happening now in the background?
That's what's really exciting. So for organizations, I mean, behind the scenes, this little record hit our servers, and immediately a fully formatted PDF, in this particular case, is sent to a regulatory body. It can detect the 66% and immediately send an alert, an email, whatever business rule you want to have in place. Can take any of the fields, put them back into your SAP through an open API. And the most important part is all this data is collected on our BI engine, which is ultimately the huge value for corporations because they can analyze their performance against different targets, against different things, and hopefully extract a couple of operational improvements digits out of their metrics. So that's the main thing that happens behind. I'm a money-driven guy, so what I just described, you can do it for 100 users for as little as $1,000 a month in a very profitable way for us, okay, as the supplier of this capability. So, I mean, going back to your original question, the right device, which I believe this device is going to be amazing for the kind of task we have in the field, plus the right network, plus the right application, I think is the DNA for the enterprise mobility to keep growing on the enterprises. And ultimately, that's the enabler for the operational effectiveness and excellence that I was referring to before.
Excellent. Very impressive. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Alvaro.
Appreciate it.
Now let's turn our attention to healthcare and with Reuven Soraya from Clarion Technology. Reuven, can you tell us a little bit about why your app is important to your customers?
I'm going to pull you all into the medical imaging business. Okay, so to your question, Peter, you know, comprehensive electronic patient records are now standard of care. And advanced imaging produced in many hospital departments are becoming an integral part of the patient record. In other words, it's not just about the text anymore, but also about the images. The images need to be attached and be part of the patient record.
Right.
And this is where our app, Neil, and the BlackBerry Passport comes into the picture, literally, right? Neil is a universal viewer, and along with the BlackBerry Passport, it enables visualization of all imaging data in all hospital departments. Our customers can view images anywhere, at any time, inside or outside the hospital. Whether it's images from cardiology, radiology, orthopedic, eye care, whether it's images from the different scanners, all the formats, even images and videos from the surgical operating room can be viewed securely and interactively using our app.
And why is it important within the healthcare industry?
You know, by the way, just stepping a little bit that, the concept of viewing images and videos is very prevalent in the consumer business, right? I don't think it is news for anybody here, right? But we bring this concept into the medical enterprise business. And when it comes to the healthcare, you know, patient care is number one. You know, primary care, meaning the delivery of day-to-day healthcare, is now considered, you know, very critical in determining the outcome and the quality of care.
Right.
Yeah.
And how is actually used? Maybe you can actually show us.
Yeah, so what I'm going to show you is how we can navigate through a vast amount of imaging data. So let me go to my app, and I'll log in here. So, yeah, as soon as the clinical users logs in, she sees this list of patients, and I can navigate through this list using the iconic BlackBerry keyboard plus the touch now. You can see this physician has quite a bit of patients to go through. And
which patient are we going to look at today?
I'm going to look at the passport demo, but you know, I can look at all the images, and we can stay at lunch, at dinner, and tomorrow also with the BlackBerry battery life. My favorite patient today is the passport. Okay, so what you see here is the square screen and how the whole chest X-ray fits nicely in there. The high density of the pixel count. And I programmed a couple of shortcuts, so I can, for example, remove the yellow text, right? I can zoom, with simple gestures, right? I can change the contrast.
All with just gestures right there.
Simple gestures, right? I can even have a magnifier here, to check this chest X-ray more carefully, right? And often patients have more than just one study. This patient happened to have 5, 6 studies, right? So I can easily tap on the next study of that patient and bring it over. What we are seeing here is a CT study. It's a tomographic study. You can think of it as a large set of slices stacked and create a volume. And I can smoothly scroll through this.
This is all in real time then?
This is all in real time. There's nobody behind me with some fancy computers doing that. This is all done here in real time. I can scroll through this hundreds of slices.
That's impressive.
Sometimes thousands of CT and MRI studies. Not only that, I can reconstruct different views of the original slices, right? I can have a side view or a front view, as you see here, and I can view these reconstructed slices as well. Of course, I can zoom and pan and all the other stuff that I showed earlier, right? Now I'm scrolling through this stack of reconstructed slices. Let's go.
And what else can you show us then?
Quite a bit. Why don't we look at the 3D? Again, this is produced here in real time. What we see, for example, this patient, right? We can see that this patient has a stent in the lower abdomen, right, to support the vasculature, right? What's nice about 3D is that the clinician can easily get to the anatomy and the pathology, as well as communicate it to the patient. It's very tough to communicate to a patient hundreds of slices,
yes,
right, what we saw earlier. But I can easily communicate this to the patient. We can, melt through the body here, again, all in real time using the 3 fingers on the BlackBerry passport. The physician can go and look at a different anatomy here. So we looked at, relatively speaking, a chest X-ray. We looked at a more complex case, a CT. Let's go and look at the cardiac exam. Okay. So this is a cardiac exam. This is a dynamic study where the patient is injected with contrast material, right, for fluoroscopy. So you can see the contrast material here injected, and I can stop it and enable it again with the simple BlackBerry shortcuts. Of course, the zoom and pan and all the rest. I think we cannot finish this without seeing an ultrasound.
All right.
Right? The most common scanner.
Let's see the ultrasound.
Yeah. This is a echocardiac study, and it just happened to be.
Is this you, Reuben?
No, it's not me.
Not you. Okay.
It's all anonymized here, but this happened to be the heart of my boss.
And he's in London right now, right?
Science.
He's in London doing this right now.
He is in London doing it right now.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... So basically, our app enables the visualization of medical data anywhere at any time, securely and interactively. Operations that I have done just now, demonstrated now, were possible only on a large workstation until recently. And we brought it to the BlackBerry Passport.
That's fantastic. That's very impressive, Reuben.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
I'll leave it like that.
Perfect. So Bloomberg, Pronto Forums, and Clara are just 3 examples of partners we are working closely with to bring great applications to the BlackBerry World App Store, and how BlackBerry and Passport can help customers in their industries be more productive. Thank you again to OK, Alvaro, and Reuben for joining us today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And to see more of Bloomberg Professional Enterprise Edition, Pronto Forms, and Clara Nil apps, please head to the demo area upstairs right after our on-stage portion of today's launch event. As I mentioned earlier, we've been working hard on apps. Not only have we been aggressively focused on enterprise apps for our enterprise customers, but we've been thoughtful about consumer apps, which is why BlackBerry has partnered with Amazon. The Amazon store will first be available on Passport in 10.3, bringing the latest Android apps and games. At this time, please join me in welcoming Head of International Amazon App Store from Amazon, Robert Williams. Morning, Robert.
Morning, Peter.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about what, with Passport and 10.3, what customers can expect?
Yes, I can, Peter. Good morning, everyone. With the launch of Passport and the 10.3 OS, we're pleased to announce that effective today, BlackBerry customers will have access to hundreds of thousands of great, high-quality apps on the Amazon App Store worldwide. BlackBerry 10.3 customers will gain access to popular apps such as Pinterest, Candy Crush Saga, Minecraft Pocket PC Edition, Temple Run 2, Cut the Rope 2, TuneIn Radio, and many others. In addition, BlackBerry customers will now have the opportunity to download a high-quality paid app for free every day of the year with the Amazon Free App of the Day program.
So free app every day?
Every day, a high-quality paid app for free to all BlackBerry customers.
Fantastic. That's a lot of apps. That's a lot of apps.
In addition to that, BlackBerry customers will have the ability to discover apps and content that is particularly useful to them through our personalized recommendation system and download these apps with confidence using a number of Amazon trusted payment options. That's the customer side.
That's excellent. But what about developers?
Glad you asked. Developers are very important to an App Store ecosystem. And on the developer side, we're very focused on creating a platform that enables developers to build, distribute, and monetize their apps in the optimum way. Our developer ecosystem starts with a foundational layer of Amazon Web Services. Services such as Elastic Cloud Computing and DynamoDB that address developers' infrastructure needs. Then on top of that, the App Store offers a number of services like Amazon Developer Select, where developers can get extra merchandising and advertising benefits to help their apps get discovered. And with services like in-app purchasing, mobile ads, mobile associates, and coins, the Amazon virtual currency, developers are afforded a number of new opportunities to increase their monetization of their apps and their revenue streams. Developers that are interested can go to developer.amazon.com/BB for more information.
That's fantastic.
Well, Peter, we haven't talked about security, and everyone knows that both Amazon and BlackBerry are highly focused on security. Can you tell us a little bit?
Absolutely. That's exactly right. I mean, BlackBerry and company has always been had security top of mind for both company and personal data. And with 10.3, BlackBerry Guardian will be built into the BlackBerry OS, and users can choose to scan Android apps for malware and privacy prior to installation. So, Robert, I want to thank you again for joining us on stage here today. We're really looking forward to getting all the great partners and apps onto BlackBerry and Amazon. So thank you.
We think it's going to be great, Peter. Thank you very much for having me. Thanks to the audience.
So at this time, there's one more app we'd like to tell you about. So let's welcome back Jeff Gadway on stage, and he'll tell you all about it. Hey, Jeff.
Now today, we've introduced you to a brand new kind of mobile device. A device that will help mobile professionals to work wide in a new way with a beautiful, large touch display. A new touch-enabled keyboard that's absolutely revolutionary, incredible battery life, a standout new design, a new standard for call quality. But that's not all we've talked about. We've talked about our application and ecosystem strategy. We've talked about how we're bringing mobile professionals both business and personal applications through not one but two application storefronts, the BlackBerry World Store and the Amazon App Store. But we too have one more thing to share with you today. It's called BlackBerry Blend, and it's going to absolutely transform the way people work. BlackBerry Blend is built for a multi-device world where mobile professionals use a variety of tools throughout the day for both business and personal use. Now, if you're like me, you might be at your desk working on a Windows PC, and when you're watching a movie, you might be using an iPad. Professionals want the freedom to choose whatever device and whatever operating system they need for the task at hand without feeling locked into one particular ecosystem. But in this connected world, a problem arises when these connected devices don't speak to each other. You don't have the information you need when and where you need it. You might miss an important work email while you're working at home on your personal laptop. You might miss an important message on your tablet while you're watching a movie. Or maybe you need a work file while you're at home on your personal PC. BlackBerry Blend brings the power of your BlackBerry to your computer and tablet. With Blend, you get the most critical information you need on whatever device you're on, powered by your BlackBerry. And for mobile professionals, Blend lets you seamlessly and securely access your work data and files on your computer or tablet, all without the need for VPN. This is going to change the game. I'd like to give you a first live look at how BlackBerry Blend is going to change the way professionals work, both at the office and at home. So come on over to my office, and we'll give you a quick little demo. So here I am on my work computer, and you can see that I'm working on my presentation here on the screen. I'm using the keyboard and mouse right in front of me, along with the large screen real estate that I have available to me on my laptop. But today, if I had my smartphone next to me and I'm focused on my presentation, I might miss any BBM messages that come in or any text messages that are sent to my phone. With Blend, my phone and my laptop are working together. So the BBM messages I receive here on my phone appear right on my laptop screen alongside the application that I'm working in. So I see here it's a message from Sanjay. So I'm going to click on the notification, and instantaneously, the BlackBerry Blend app opens that message on my laptop. I can quickly respond here using my keyboard and mouse. So he says, "How's the presentation coming along?" And I say, "Great. Just a little tied up. Have a look. Let me know." Send. Look at how fast that's sent. DNR almost instantaneously. These are messages that are being sent from my BlackBerry smartphone using the BlackBerry Blend app on my laptop. But now Blend allows you to do much more than just access BBM on your desktop. With Blend, I'm able to get a complete picture of all my communications. My work and personal content are blended together. My email messages, my BBM messages, my SMS, and my calendar across both my personal and professional accounts, all here on one blended view. Now, it's the end of the day, and I want to take this presentation home with me, so I'm going to save it, and I'm going to close it here on my desktop. By saving this presentation to Blend, I'm going to have access to it, not just on my smartphone, but on any Blend connected device. Let me show you what I mean. This is a presentation that's about some sensitive customer information. So I'm going to choose to put it here in the workspace on my BlackBerry smartphone. But you'll see I also have access to Box, Dropbox, OneDrive, and any other Blend-enabled devices. So this really, truly is a single interface for accessing all my different types of content. So I'm going to click on the Enterprise Workspace and enter my work password. Now I have access to all the directories that are sitting in the work perimeter of my device. So I'm going to click on Documents. I've already got a couple docs here. I'm going to drag and drop the presentation into Blend. So what I've done is move this presentation from my work laptop into Blend so that now it's accessible on any of my Blend connected devices. It's as simple as a drag and drop, just like that. So now it's the end of the day, and it's time to head home. So what I'm going to do is just click up here on the gear and hit disconnect. And when I do, all of the information disappears from my laptop. Nothing is left behind. It's all secure right here on my BlackBerry smartphone, in the palm of my hand. So I'm going to disconnect this and head home. I'm just going to leave this here. So now I'm going to head home, and it's Saturday morning, and as I often do on Saturdays, I'm catching up on the Leafs here on my tablet, right? So I'm on the Leafs website. Oh, there we go. I'm just going to plug the cable back in here. We've got all this set up upstairs too, so come and check it out live. Here we are. So I'm on the Leafs website, checking out what's happening in the preseason. Now, today, if my smartphone was in another room, kind of like I've illustrated here by leaving it across the stage, I wouldn't have access to any of the work emails, BBM messages, or texts that are sent to that device. If I'm busy on my tablet, I would miss those messages. But with Blend, I see that I get a notification here right at the top of the screen. I can read that notification right in the native notification center on my Android device. So it looks like it's pretty important. I'm going to multitask over here to Blend. So I've pulled up Blend, the same user experience you saw on the laptop, here on my tablet. And I've already seen the message from Sanjay. He says, it looks good, send it to John. Looks good, send it to John, perfect. So what I'm going to do is send this from Blend, because today what I go and pull out my work laptop, power it up, connect it to my Wi-Fi, VPN in, open Outlook, boot up Outlook, attach the file, and send it off. But it's Saturday morning, and I don't want to do all that. I'm just going to do it right here in Blend. So I'm going to unlock my workspace using the same password on my smartphone and compose a new message. See how I can choose to compose a message from either my personal email account or my work email account. I'm going to say new message. I'm going to select John Chen here. And I'm going to copy Sanjay just so that he knows that I sent it. So this is pulling contacts from my smartphone contact list on my device in another room in my house. I'm going to say, here's the deck. And here's the magic part. This is what I love about Blend. Before leaving the office, I saved that file to Blend, right? So it's accessible on all my Blend connected devices. So all I have to do is hit attach here, and you'll see that I'm able to choose to attach a file either off my tablet or off my device, no matter where it's sitting. It could be in another room. I could have left it at the office. I click on device, and I choose the location that I put it in. Documents. There's the presentation right there. Select, and it's attached, and I hit send, and off it goes. So what we've just shown you is sending a work email from my personal tablet, attaching a document that lives securely on my BlackBerry smartphone. This is absolutely incredible. It's going to change the way people work. Now, while we've shown you this on an Android PC, or an Android tablet and a Windows PC, this also works on Mac computers and iPads, and any combination of those devices as well. So to